In that classified documents case, guess what? One of those witnesses has cut a deal with prosecutors. Come on, iPad. Of course, in this case, this is the Yahoo story here, and it lays out exactly what's going on here. Go right back to it. Key witness in the case, of course, after he dropped Trump's attorneys, Walt Nada, one of the two Trump employees, is going to be providing testimony. Scott, if you are a defendant, the last thing you want is, first of all, when Trump was paying for that dude's attorneys, and he dropped Trump's attorneys, got his own attorney, then he's like, I need a deal. I keep telling these other people are not trying to go to prison for that food.
You're going to see more of these cooperations, the lower level people who are important factual witnesses for the prosecution. And you'll see that when they give up Donald Trump's lawyer and get their own independent counsel, their defense changes because they don't want to go to jail. They don't want to continue to defend Donald Trump or be connected to him in exchange for their liberty. It's just natural. And so what's important about this cooperator in the documents case is the government now has a witness that can testify. They've got to cooperate in exchange for a deal, and they certainly don't want to be tried and convicted. They have one person that can say, I had a conversation with Walt Nada, and Walt Nada told me to try to get rid of these tapes, and it was coming from the boss. And it took place at Westminster or wherever his golf country club was. And so it puts Donald Trump there, puts Walt Nada there, and it has a direct conversation with the IT person. This is really bad for Donald Trump. Now, having said that, the defense will cross-examine the IT individual, Tavares, I think. They'll cross-examine him and say, you cut a deal with the government in exchange to save your hide and to not go to jail. That's your greatest motivator for lying. Maybe, maybe not, but this is the dirty business of criminal prosecution. Sometimes you got to get witnesses that even lied in the grand jury. The government's going to have to rehabilitate him and make him make sense and make the government, or rather make the jury, believe that he's now credible. It'll be a toss-up, and it'll be depending on what the jury believes and doesn't believe. But this is a good witness for the government. They've got to clean him up, though, because he lied before in the grand jury.
Listen, I just think that what you're about to find out, Rebecca, that protective wall around the orange one is going to crumble. And you're already seeing, what's going on. And I think politically as well, yes, his base is hardening, but the bottom line is you're going to have more and more people saying, okay, I know Biden is old, but do we actually want this crook back in the Oval Office?
I'm hoping that's the calculus that many Americans will have in the back of their mind as they're going into the voting booths next fall. But you know what? I still think that Trump could still win his primary. And also, Scott, correct me if I'm wrong.
No, hold on. Let's be real clear. He's likely going to win the primary. I'm talking about the general election. I'm simply making the assumption he's going to win the primary. He is going to be the Republican nominee.
Right, and that's a good assumption, and that's a very safe bet. What's also concerning, and just for your viewers to understand, there is nothing within our Constitution that could stop him from getting reelected if he has the majority of votes next fall. Like, full stop. Him being convicted doesn't stop him. There's nothing in the Constitution that says that. Us knowing that he is a criminal, he interfered actively with elections, he did treasonous type activities and behavior, there still isn't a fail-safe within our system right now to be able to stop him. So I'm hoping there are enough Americans, and I'm hoping there's enough people who normally don't show up to vote who decide that next election is actually important enough when we're thinking about how do we move forward with our country? Because if he goes back into the Oval and we know that he is a clear and present danger, we know he is actively engaged in criminal activity, everything that he did in his first administration will appear to be child's play. Like, I think we're going to see outright, out-front corruption in ways we haven't seen before. I mean, it's going to be like, I think in 50 years, when we start to see even like some of the money transfers that some people have claimed that have happened with him enriching himself, his businesses, and his kids' businesses, and his cronies' businesses as well, that's nothing compared to what he would do in the second administration.